I'm Dr. David Hill. Today we're going to discuss how we can build a healthy immunity. Now we all know what immunity is. We recognize that in order to be able to resist different types of illness or infections, that we need a healthy immune response. I want to spend just a little bit of time helping you understand what the immune system is, some simple and easy steps that you can follow to build proper immunity, but also help you understand the things that maybe we're exposed to in a fairly routine way that unfortunately are compromising to our immunity. Now, while most people understand what the immune system is and the purpose of the immune system, a lot of times we don't fully understand that our immunity is limited to its own ability to be able to function properly. And there's some very specific things that lend itself to inhibiting the responses associated with proper immunity. One of the most common and perhaps the most difficult thing that we face in terms of maintaining proper immune response is the amount of stress that we're under. We're all under varying degrees of stress, and we've all heard people say, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." One of the primary factors is the amount of stress that they're under. So I'm bringing some of these things up to help you understand that if we can do some very simple basic things, for example, if we can reduce our stress load, our immune system, the ability of our body to protect itself, will automatically be escalated. Now, there's lots of physiological reasons why that is that we're not going to discuss today out of the interest of time. I realize that I'm making this very simple, but I'm under the belief that if we have some simple, easy approaches, we're more likely to do them, and then we can receive the benefit that can come in terms of helping our bodies build their own immunity, but easily we can share that with other people. Now, other factors that affect immunity: nutritional insufficiency. We know that nutrition plays a key role in our health overall, but very specifically to immunity as well. Unfortunately, the amount of toxicity that we're exposed to, and we are exposed to a tremendous amount of toxicity on a regular basis. All of those lead to cellular dysfunction as it pertains to our immune system. Let me give you a brief overview of the different types of immunity that are important to be maintained in your body. One is called fixed immunity. Now, some people are familiar with fixed immunity, but most people don't realize how significant it is in your body. Fixed immunity is a protective barrier that exists between your body, the internal environment of your body, and the outside environment. So this includes cells that line the exposed surfaces of the body, skin, the lungs, and even the digestive tract. This represents, fixed immunity is so important and valuable because it represents as much as 70% of your body's normal immune response. When you hear the term fixed immunity, I want you to think about this is my body's first defense and first response. It's an attempt to not let the invading microbe, the pathogen, whatever it happens to be, whether it's viral or bacterial or otherwise, not be able to gain a foothold so we don't become ill in the first place. First line of defense. Now, we also have another form of immunity which most people are very familiar with. We'll call this our mobile immunity. This includes the cells of our immune system. We find them in our blood. They're able to be transported to the site of an infection. So we have a cellular immune response as well. The combination of those two working together is how our body effectively protects itself. Let me share with you quickly 3 things that you and I can do to begin to satisfy the needs for mobile and also fixed immunity, enhancing our body's immune response, enhancing our body's ability to be able to protect itself. Now, what I like about these 3 suggestions is that these are things that the whole family can do. Step 1 is going to be to build healthy intestinal flora. Now, there's a lot of discussion that happens around intestinal flora. We see it all of the time in the news media now. A lot of physicians are speaking out concerning intestinal flora. How do we know if our intestinal flora is compromised? Now, let me give you a reminder that when we say intestinal flora, we're talking about fixed immunity. This is that first line defense, that barrier in your body that protects you and hopefully prevents you from becoming ill in the first place. Easy to tell when we have compromises to this part of our immune system. We have a lot of digestive upset, maybe we have chronic allergies, other GI maladies that can exist, especially those that exist in a chronic nature. One of the most common signs we see when people begin to have compromise this way, and it's because of some of the nutritional compromise that can occur along with this, and that's fatigue and the fact that they don't have as much energy as they would like to have. Overall, it leads to a very suppressed immune system. Now in the media, you see a lot of representation that we can eat yogurt, there's lots of products in the marketplace that we could drink, all of which will help us to build healthy intestinal flora. That is true in that the things that we see in yogurt, in a general sense, speaking only to the microbial factors, not the sugars and other things, which I believe are damaging, speaking only to the microbial factors associated with this, it's true. That is what we would like to have, but there's a barrier. And the barrier is the stomach itself. And most people don't realize that when you consume products like yogurt, although you're eating fairly healthy, especially if you have a naturally occurring yogurt with no artificial ingredients associated with it, it is healthy for you, but most of the flora, most of the microbes, that healthy bacteria that we're after, is going to be destroyed, unfortunately, by the stomach acid. And so this is the criticism that comes from medicine, speaking now as a physician, and when I work with individuals, that we need to find a way that we can bypass that effectively. So let me recommend to you what I would suggest you do to build healthy intestinal flora. I would suggest that you use PB Assist Plus. Now, this is important for a few different reasons that I'll go through very quickly. One is that we have 5 billion live strains. Now, I realize there's a lot of products in the marketplace that will claim to have at times much higher colony-forming units than the 5 billion I'm talking about here. But keep in mind, one of the keys to an effective probiotic is, are the strains alive, which these are, and will they be able to bypass the stomach acid, where unfortunately I could give you billions and billions and most of them would be destroyed and it would do you no good. 5 billion is more than sufficient when we take this with some regularity, and also when we understand that we can have a protection system that allows it to bypass that stomach acid, which would be destructive to this product. So we have 5 billion colony-forming units. Now they are live strains, as I mentioned. Colony-forming units is a description of when microflora is ingested, its ability to form other colonies of flora. In other words, we need a significant amount of microbes, healthy bacteria, in our digestive tract in order to optimize our immune response this way. Now, the other thing that's significant about this is that we have 6 different strains of different types of bacteria. We have 3 strains of lactobacillus and 3 strains of bifidobacterium. Why that's important is because we want to infiltrate both the upper and the lower GI tract, and we can do that with the diversity that we see in the 6 different strains that are offered here. When we have multiple strains of bacteria that we're consuming, we stand a greater chance of impacting the digestive tract to a full extent. So we give you a good cross-section in the right amount. Remember, 5 billion live strains associated with this product. Now, there is such a thing known as a prebiotic, and I want to introduce to you fructooligosaccharides, or FOS as it's commonly referred to. And it's important because it has the ability to selectively promote the adhesion and growth of friendly bacteria. This microflora now that we're taking in this product can be promoted in terms of it can be supported in its ability to colonize. That's important. This is a short chain dietary fiber, and it's the perfect growing medium for healthy bacteria to develop within, to colonize within. Now at the same time, this is a very unhealthy environment for less friendly intestinal microbes, those types of microbes that we don't want to see that are inhibiting our body's function or ability to protect ourselves in this way. Now the last thing I'll share with you about this is to use it for daily support. This is intended that it's a daily product, not that we take once in a while. The most common mistake I see when people are trying to build their immunity this way is that they believe that this can be a periodic process. Keep in mind the things that we talked about that are compromising to this aspect of our health. Stress, the amount of toxins, poor nutrition, poor nutrition. Unfortunately, most of those things are fairly constant factors in our daily life, and so it makes sense that we would use a product like this one every single day. Now, I mentioned to you that we need an effective way to be able to transmit or bypass the stomach acid. This represents a very unique product because we give you a double-layer delivery system. Now, as you look at this, remember I talked about the fructooligosaccharides, the FOS. This is this liquid in the outer capsule. And you can see that this is a two-capsule system as you look at this picture. The inner capsule is where we house all of the probiotic itself, all of the friendly microflora, the 5 billion CFUs. So we have this two-part system where it's encapsulated in this prebiotic, and then we have the inner part of the capsule. It's all time released so that we're not disrupted as it passes through the stomach. And as it releases into your intestinal tract, you can receive the full benefit that can come from taking a product like this. Enhancing your fixed immunity is one of the primary things that you should do to increase the effectiveness of your body's own immune system. Now, step 2 is really easy. It's really simple. Much of the air we breathe is filled with contaminants, and it makes sense that we diffuse essential oils daily. Now, I know that everybody has their favorites in terms of the types of oils that they like to diffuse. I diffuse essential oils all of the time. I diffuse them in my office at work, and I diffuse them in my home environment as well. I'd like to recommend 3 essential oils to you to consider diffusing on a regular basis. First, I want to tell you to diffuse lavender at night. A healthy night's sleep is one of the most important things we can do. Our immune system is active at night, and much of the time when we don't get the proper quality of sleep, we are compromising our body's ability to ward off different types of infections or illnesses that we might be exposed to. Now, I know I'm talking about diffusion, but many of you know and understand you can also apply lavender onto your person. You can set the diffuser up near your nightstand or in your bedroom. In my home, it diffuses through the whole upper floor of the home for that reason. Now, the other thing I want to suggest to you is that you diffuse On Guard and or lemon to help cleanse the environment of your home. There are many different types of airborne pathogens that we're exposed to, and by pathogens I don't mean that quite the way that it sounds. Think about just different types of bacterial and viral components, and if we can do things to thwart them, eliminate them before they have the ability to become infectious to us, well, that's a healthy process that makes sense. Diffusing lemon or any citrus oil also has the ability to improve your mood and uplift the spirit, to give you energy. These are all important things in helping to maintain the ability of our body's own immune system. Now, diffusing On Guard, there's a lot of great research now that's developing about the essential oils with regards to their specific properties in being able to eliminate different types of microbes that we might be exposed to. And On Guard has been studied and researched rather extensively in some areas and proven to be, in my opinion, one of the most powerful things that we can do. Now that leads us to the third thing that we should do, which is use essential oils to eliminate surface germs as well. And I like this whole On Guard line. We have throat lozenges so that we can protect our person, and we have the essential oil, which we can use topically or internally, or also we can diffuse it the way that we've discussed. But then there's other things as well. We have the On Guard wipes, and we have the On Guard hand wash. These are things that are important for you to do. If anything that we can do to help eliminate germs without increasing our exposure to toxicity, one of the primary causes of why we have compromise in our immune system, is a very powerful thing. So I want you to think about those 3 simple steps. Improving our fixed immunity by use of the PB Assist, a healthy, effective probiotic. Diffusing essential oils, I recommended 3 to you. I said that we should diffuse On Guard and lemon periodically throughout the day, and that also you should consider diffusing lavender essential oil at night to improve your rest. And then we said we should use essential oils to help eliminate germs that we might be exposed to on different surfaces. One of the things and the keys that is important to think about with immunity is that we develop daily routines. It's been nice visiting with you. I'll look forward to visiting with you again very soon.